Well, welcome back to The Sprout. This week I have Ariel Valesco, who is coming on to talk to us about the dual credit programs that Richland offers. Here on The Sprout, we have created the show to really highlight all of the areas that Richland impacts our community through redemption and innovation through education. So welcome, Ariel, to the show. Thank you so much for coming down and taking the time to talk with me.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
Yes. So I would love for you to just introduce yourself and tell us your role at Richland and maybe how long you've been there.
Yeah, okay. So I am the dual credit coordinator. So in that role, I serve as kind of a communications liaison, between the high schools and also the staff at Richland. That's like on the academic side. So I help coordinate, course schedules, and I really just help Dean Andy Hines, who is the executive. Oh my gosh! Wait, hang on. What's his title? He is the.
He did have a pretty big title.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple because he was on the show a few weeks ago.
Yes.
So.
He has. Basically, he does a couple of different roles.
Well, after talking to him, I feel like he kind of does everything.
Yeah, he does. So he is the executive dean overall, and he's also the dean of math and sciences.
Oh, okay.
But then he's also functioning as the dean that oversees dual credit. So part of my role is to kind of, just help out as I can on the academic side. And then this semester, I'm also serving as the success coach for all of the DPS students, which includes Prep Academy.
Okay.
So in that role, I help register students. I meet with them one-on-one as needed. They can set up appointments with me where we get them, registered, like I said, registered for classes. And then we can have kind of conversations about their future goals. And just really, I try to get that or to help them, on their academic journey. Yeah.
So is that the role of a success coach? Because, you hear guidance counselor as opposed to success coach. And I know just, within the past variety of years, Richland has kind of renamed and rebranded that role. Can you help us understand what is a little bit of the difference with the success coach and why that avenue?
Yeah, so that's a really good question.
Sorry, and it wasn't in the notes beforehand. I just thought that would be a great opportunity.
Yes, that is. I don't know if I have an exact answer to that.
Well, it sounded like whenever you met with your students,
yes.
Was it about more than walking them through classes?
Yeah, so it's, you get to know the student on an individual basis and just kind of help them reach success, like overall. So we can help them get connected to different resources, whether it's community or resources on campus.
Okay.
So it's really individualized because, each student has their own unique idea of what success looks like.
Right.
So, we work with them on a one-on-one basis to help them reach their goals.
Okay. Whenever I went into some college, specifically Richland, actually, around 20-ish years ago, the guidance counselor, it was a lot more, you'd go to them for an associates of science or an associates of arts, and they would fill in the boxes. But it sounds like you kind of create scaffolding around the individualized nature with each student based off their desires, what they want, even outside of the class, maybe some things that they need, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's correct.
That's pretty awesome. I wish I would have had that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Anyhow, sorry for the curveball. I just thought that was a wonderful idea to lean into.
No, it is.
Because yet again, Richland has brought into education this idea of coming wraparound services, holistically coming into communities with their trauma-informed approaches, with their success coaches, with some of the programs. Yes. So I just wanted to highlight that, of a different way of approaching the students. But you're really here to talk to us about dual credit. So can you explain to us what is the nature of dual credit?
Yeah, well, dual credit is an opportunity for students that are in high school to take classes that will count both towards their high school diploma and college credits. So, we have quite a bit of different programs. If I can jump into that a little bit.
Right ahead.
We have 5 programs at the moment. So one is Prep Academy.
Okay.
So that's basically, it's a program where students from DPS schools, so whether, that's MacArthur, Eisenhower, they join Prep Academy their freshman year of high school. And then we start incorporating dual credit classes since their freshman year. And then throughout the years, once they're ready to graduate as a senior, they also get to graduate with their associates.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is a pretty incredible opportunity. So we have those classes already kind of incorporated into their curriculum. So we work really closely with, Ashley and Leslie from the program, Andy, and then with the guidance counselors as well to kind of coordinate the different schedules. Sometimes it can be a little challenging to work around because we really do try our best to, find a way for all the classes to fit together that also work with the way that the high school classes are scheduled.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's quite a process, but it's really rewarding and it's incredible, and a lot of students are benefiting and they're really excited, to graduate with their associates.
But how many students would you say? I know you've had a couple of cohorts now. Mm-hmm. So how many students have signed up for that, or do you see interested in moving along those lines?
Yeah, so we have quite a big interest. Right now, I can say in this fall semester, we currently have 167 students enrolled.
Really?
Yes. And that's, again, starting freshman year, sophomores, juniors, and then current seniors. Yeah.
Okay. So here's a question. Within the DPS, the Prep Academy, let's say you're a junior and you're interested in starting some of this. Is this something that you have to start as a freshman? Or are you able to kind of jump in and at least start getting some credit towards an associate's when you leave?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So for Prep Academy specifically, you do have to start as a freshman.
Okay.
So students apply and then they're selected, by Prep Academy. That's on their side. They select students starting in their 8th grade year and then going into their high school freshman year. However, if we have DPS students that are interested in dual credit classes, but they didn't get the opportunity, or maybe they didn't want to do it, maybe they changed their mind. Right. They can still just do dual credit classes, which is another program.
Segue into a different program. There we go.
Perfect. But so that's another one that we offer. And it's basically, students that want to take maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe a couple more dual credit classes. Oftentimes it's, for example, it's a student that knows they want to go to a 4-year in the future and they know they have to take this specific math class, so it's like they'll take it now, kind of get it over. Or it's students that are just interested in some of like the electives that we offer, like psychology, sociology, like they're interested in dipping their toes in a little bit just to see kind of how that works. And if that's something that they're interested in pursuing in the future. So while students in their junior year couldn't just join Prep Academy, they can still take
the dual credits.
Yes, all of the dual credit offerings that we have.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I feel like what an incredible program, number one, that you'd be able to graduate with your associates, and your high school diploma. Yeah. I also feel like that's quite a big commitment to, as a 13, 14-year-old, kind of start and sign up for. Yeah. So I'm sure, coming alongside, like you said, the school, even parents, I'm sure you'd have to get parents involved and, brought in on things and accountable with stuff as well. Yeah, it really is a collaborative effort. And it's not an easy program. Students are often also involved in like extracurriculars, or a lot of them work part-time jobs. Yeah. Or they play sports, so it's definitely not easy, but like I said, super rewarding. And students are able to start,
dipping their toes not just in specific areas of study, but also just learning important life skills like time management.
Right.
You have to be able to manage your time in a program like this, So yeah, it's a really cool program.
What's another dual credit program you guys offer?
Yes, so we have Prep Academy, dual credit. We also have something called Transfer Academy, which all of, high schools are able to participate in. We do only have like a couple that do it. Always room for expansion though. But yes, so that is kind of similar to prep in the sense of students go to their high school for half of the day. And then buses transport them to Richland. And then for the other half of the day, they take Richland classes.
Okay.
But however, with prep, that's, like I said, the classes are more, into like planned. So they will graduate with their associate when they're done with the program. Transfer Academy, it's not always guaranteed. It's just like a way for them to take as many as they can, I guess. And it's kind of uniquely based on each high school, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have those three. I don't know if you have any follow-up questions about transfer.
No, it's okay. I love all the different opportunities.
Yeah.
So with transfer, from what I'm understanding, you're not as much following a program with an end goal in mind, but it's more maybe of a la carte college experience while you're in high school then?
Correct. And it's more than just, a couple of classes. It's like students get to take more. Because again, like students that take dual credit classes, a lot of the times it's maybe like a virtual class taught by a Richland instructor, or it's a class that's taught at the high school by a high school instructor that's qualified and approved by us, the deans, to teach dual credit classes. So it's kind of a way for them to get on campus and, to sit in the college classroom with all of the other college students.
Which I feel like even that exposure or experience is tremendously different as opposed to sitting in a high school to, a college, dealing with a professor and sometimes people that are probably 5, 10, 15 years older than you, kind of mingling within the same classes and stuff. So
correct. So it allows a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different voices, diverse ideas. So it is quite an incredible opportunity. It's definitely helpful, like you said, it's very different from a high school classroom. And then, a lot of the times it's like if students go to like big 4-year universities where they're in like these huge lecture hall classrooms, like sometimes that's a little jarring. So with this opportunity, they get the experience of being maybe like in a little smaller classroom. Like, yes, it's still college. Yes, there's still other college students, but it's kind of like a middle point. So a lot of students will benefit from that.
I would have, now that you say that, that's another excellent point of kind of building up to what a bigger university, larger classes, lecture halls kind of would feel.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, correct.
So you had said that there was 5.
Yeah.
We've talked about prep. There was dual and a transfer. What's another one?
Yes. So Heartland Tech.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get my little notes out for that one.
Yes, please do.
So Heartland Tech, I don't work with as closely, but it is basically like a career academy for high school juniors and seniors in the area.
Okay.
So that's all high schools in Macon and Piatt counties. So this program is for students that are interested in kind of some like career exploration and some skills advancement. So similar again to transfer and prep, students will be bused to Heartland Tech for half of the day. And then the other half of the day, they will be at their high schools.
Okay.
So let's see.
Is it more of like skill sets for like trade?
Yes.
What would make that type of a career option or going there a bit different?
Yeah, well, so those are like more specific programs like automotive, diesel, horticulture, agriculture, business, criminal justice, engineering, technology, HVAC.
Okay.
So more of, the trades, like once they learn that and then they graduate high school, it's more of like they kind of go into that instead of going to a 4-year per se.
Okay.
But a lot of those classes at Heartland Tech are also dual credit classes at Richland.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because even whenever you said that, I'm sure some of the business would overlap with a different side or program or degree.
Yeah.
So,
correct.
okay.
And a lot of the Heartland Tech instructors are high school teachers, and then some of them are also Richland instructors that teach the classes. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of where that overlap happens.
Gotcha. So it's getting the students probably more trained and ready to be placed directly into a career then.
Yes.
As opposed to moving on to whether further education, university, et cetera.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So that's the fourth.
I'm with you. I'm tracking.
Yeah. So dual credit, like I said, was just a quick little recap.
Yeah.
It's students that will take, high school students that will take classes that count for college and high school credit. We also have dual enrollment, which, not to be confused again with dual credit, they can't be used so interchangeably, even though they sound super similar.
Yeah.
But dual enrollment is high school students that take, Richland classes, but it's not for high school credit. It's just for college credit. So it doesn't overlap,
sure.
like it would with dual credit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. My senior year half day, I would go to Richland, but it wasn't counted towards any high school.
Gotcha.
It was directly just kind of starting to get an associate's and get my feet wet. So then by the time I did graduate, maybe I'd have a semester or so under my belt,
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I will say at Richland right now, our bigger program is just kind of the dual credit and everything that, that encompasses. Dual enrollment is not as big, but, it's still a thing. And students still can do that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So was there a fifth? Did we already say the fifth was a dual enrollment?
It was dual enrollment.
Okay. I'm just, because I was wanting to summarize, because I am seeing a bit of nuance within all of them and a little bit of difference.
Yes.
So within dual credit as an umbrella, you have Prep Academy, which is programs within specifically DPS high schools.
Correct.
That students start as a freshman so that they can graduate with their associates. Right. And then you have transfer, which is different high schools that bus students out to Richland for any time within their high school career. Correct. And then the Heartland Tech, which was getting students more career ready.
Yes.
With the different auto and HVAC and more of the trades and different things. So then they're not necessarily going off to a university.
Right.
Right. Then you have the dual credit and dual enrollment. Yeah. I love it does sound like a lot, but it also just kind of goes to show the need for all the differences.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on the student, depending on the school, depending on where each individual is at. It sounds like you guys are really trying to build out programs that can serve a variety of different people in the different places.
Yes. Yes, definitely. We want, to be as equitable as possible. Each program is unique in its own ways. And then again, within each program, it's unique to the high school. Yeah. And then it's unique to the student. But yeah, we really try to meet the students where they're at and just kind of help them meet their individual goals.
So outside of DPS, what other high schools do you guys currently have partnerships with?
Yeah, so that is a great question. I have them all written down. There's a lot.
You prepared. I love it.
Yes, there's a lot, and I didn't want to forget any. So we currently serve 14.
Okay.
So that's, MacArthur, Eisenhower. We also serve Warrensburg, Monroe Forsyth, Argento-Oriana, Cerro Gordo, Mount Zion, Meridian, Sangamon Valley, Clinton, Central A&M, Decatur Christian, Unity Christian, and St. Teresa.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, I love that because some of the private schools, I was actually wondering if you guys dealt with within the city as well, besides the surrounding areas.
Gotcha. Yes, we do.
I love that. So, whenever we kind of take a bird's eye view and we look at the versatility of the programs, the regions, the different things within students, You know, how do you see opportunities like this really impact an individual early on within their education?
Yeah, well, I think it provides a lot of advantages to the student. So again, you know, they get that early on exposure to what it's like to be a college student in a college classroom, to have a college instructor, you know, and to find a way to still, you know, form those relationships in the classroom and you know, form a relationship with the instructor, which are good skills to have, especially students that are transferring to a 4-year where it's bigger class sizes and then maybe it's harder to have one-on-one meetings with the instructor. So I think it allows them to kind of build those communication skills and maybe gain a little more confidence, you know, as they're dipping their toes. Again, time management, which we can all benefit from. I know I can. You know,
you'll continue working on that past college and high school for sure.
Yes. And, you know, students that take dual credit and they decide, you know, I don't want to go to a 4-year, you know, I'm okay with my associates. Wonderful. Everybody can benefit, you know, from time management. So yeah, those are 2 big ones. Let me think. I mean, again, it's also, you know, it gives them the opportunity to take electives that are in different, you know, fields that they might be interested in. They might take a psychology class thinking they want to be a psychologist one day, and then they take it and they're like, this isn't for me.
Right.
But that's okay because now they're learning this now before they go to university and they take all these classes and spend all this money. So yeah.
That I mean, I would say is a huge one because I think the gap between an idea and reality and being able to connect some of those things even on as an earlier age.
Oh, yeah.
So like as an example, I have a friend who always grew up being told how good with kids she was and just went right into the child ed and, you know, learning, wanting to be a teacher. Gotcha. And it was like her junior year at a university when they finally put her in the classroom. And she realized...
she didn't like it.
No. Like I may be good with kids, but not 30 at a time.
Oh, God. Yeah.
But honestly, some of the like hands-on reality, what this actually is, as opposed to what my skill set fits to what I like and what I've heard about it. I mean, just the exposure alone
of course,
is a huge thing that you're giving these kids or at a young age to start trying those things out and seeing what they are into and maybe what they're not into and what that would look like.
Because who knows what they want to do with the rest of their lives at that age.
Don't we all?
Especially, and especially on the first try. Like, are you kidding me? So they get that opportunity to like try different things, see what they like, what they don't like, make mistakes, you know, learn from those mistakes. And I mean, it saves a lot of time and money too, especially like Prep Academy. It's fully covered to the students.
Okay.
So it's free, you know, so when they graduate with their associates and then they decide they want to transfer to university, they already have 2 years of fully paid college, you know, that they've taken.
That's incredible.
It's incredible. I mean, I will, I guess, say a little bit of my personal experience with dual credit. I went to school in Northwest Indiana. Okay. And I did dual credit as a high schooler. And I was really, and to this day, I'm still really grateful for that opportunity because, you know, I was able to graduate high school with maybe a little over 60 or around 60 credits. So I did get my associates from Ivy Tech Community College. Okay. And because of that, when I went to Purdue University for undergrad, I entered, I think it was like a first semester junior.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had all of those, you know, gen ed courses just out of the way. Which was awesome. Like I didn't have to take any math. I think I only had to take one science class, which are the ones that I don't love. So I was really grateful for that. And because of that too, you know, I had extra time to where I was able to double major. I also minored, and then I graduated a semester early.
Wow.
So it saved me a lot of money and
Yeah.
time. I just got to try more different things. I went, my freshman year, I went straight into the higher level, psychology classes, which was one of my majors. So yeah, really cool experience.
Sounds like it really sets you up at a younger age, probably with a lot of exposure and safety within trial and error. But then once you do get launched out after high school, it helps you start like 5 steps down the road.
Yes.
And saves you money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And again, like time. It's like you figure out what you like and what you don't like earlier on. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. And I mean, it's not easy, and I keep saying that, but it's not. These students have to balance all of these responsibilities, meeting their high school classes and college classes, working, extracurriculars. But I really, really, truly think it's so rewarding.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see that. So as, we wrap up here, I am curious for students who are listening to this, or maybe parents who are like, man, I would love to set my kid up like that. What are some resources or next steps that you could recommend that they take?
Yeah, well, definitely. First of all, congratulations. That's amazing to take those steps. But yeah, I mean, reach out, I would say first to the guidance counselors at the high schools.
Okay.
Again, we work with them. They will have all of the information about what that individual high school offers, and in terms of what is next semester, what are the class offerings, how to get started. And then I will say all students that are interested in doing dual credit, they actually complete the same application that any person that wants to go to Richland takes. So, it's online. They apply to be a Richland student. Once that's processed, then they will get, their email and their student ID number and stuff.
Okay.
So then they go from there. But yes, for sure, reach out to your guidance counselor and then reach out to us at Richland. I'm the success coach for all of DPS students. And then all of the other ones, like at the other high schools, it is Mackenzie. So she's the success coach there. So yeah, if parents and students, if they just look up dual credit, they'll be able to find our emails and everything on the website.
Okay. And that would make sense depending on the high school or where your student is at, would make a difference of what or program would be within that.
Correct. And again, the guidance counselors would know like more of the details, and then we'll be able to guide, exactly to where they're supposed to go. Gotcha.
Well, I love seeing all of the options and opportunity that even within dual credit, you guys are trying to create within the community.
Yeah.
And all the different high schools. I love
all
14 of them. But I mean, I would say that is the majority of all of the high schools around here. There is some form of opportunity within majority of the high schools around here if you are interested in furthering your education while still in high school.
Yeah. And again, hopefully we can continue to, keep meeting those needs and maybe expand. We really do want to keep providing all those opportunities.
Yeah. I love that. Well, it is such a pleasure to meet you. I love
nice to meet you too.
Just your joy in education and your joy of being here and being able to share what you guys do. So thank you for taking the time, and thank you for educating
me.
I love being able to sit here and learn in the whole process as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.